Okay, hi folks. The purpose of this video is to show you a couple of different ways to print your images to hang using the new rail system. And there's a few options that we've got here. So I'm going to quickly run through different softwares, Lightroom, Faststone, QImage, etc. Just to show you your options. So I'm in Lightroom now. In the library module over here on the right hand side, we want the print module. Over here where it says print, click on that. So this is bringing across that photo as it was presented in the library module, the full size image to an A4 page. The page is set to an A4 page. Now, as you can see, it has centered it, and as you know, with the rail system, this bit at the top here will disappear up into the rail, so your image is going to look a little unbalanced. So how do we print it to compensate for that? We come over here to margins, click on that, and I would enter and jot this down, 18 millimeters. Okay. Right, so it has now moved the image down the page, but you can see another problem. We have now an uneven margin left and right. If you click on zoom to fill up here, zoom to fill, it will crop the image for you and fill that area of the page. So now you have a 3mm border, and you can set that to whatever you like, whatever works for you and your image. Your image may not have that aspect. It might be a little more of a 3x4, or it might be a panoramic image and you're printing on an A3 page, for example. You'll have to do a bit of experimenting with that yourself. I'm not going to run over every scenario, otherwise we could be here for a while. So this is a A4 page using these parameters as an example. Zoom to fill, take it off and it will go back to the original image. Zoom to fill will crop it and fill to those parameters you've set in margins over here. Okay, then you would simply come down here and hit print, and it'll print off the image spaced on the page like that. Okay, so that's Lightroom. Let's go and have a look at, yes, I do want to quit. Yes, I don't want to back up. Let's go and have a look at Faststone, for example. So how do we do this in Faststone? You come up here to print, design and print is where you want to start. And you will get, this is a little different. Down here you've got some parameters here, margins. So this only works in centimeters, I believe. I don't think it gives you a choice of millimeters, so just remember 1.8 centimeters is 18 millimeters. So Faststone do this a little differently. So you now got to come over here to image size, and you would play here with your image size to fit the page. So if I go over here and I make that to say about 285 roughly, and I say OK, it brings it out. So I've gone a bit too far, so you would come back and you'd pull it down to 80, and you're getting close to your margin. Okay, so in there you can do it. The aspect of each photo can be different, the way you initially crop it, so think about that as you start, and with a bit of experimentation you'll get an even border around there and a wider border at the top. Now, this is a critical number for you, and I'll go over this again shortly. The top 15 millimeters of your image will disappear up into the rail. Okay? The top 15 millimeters, or 1.5 centimeters. So if you want an even, I'm using 3mm, but you might want 5mm border on the left the bottom and the right, and 15 to go into the top, and you want 5 millimeters showing under the rail to give you a 5 mil border. 15 plus 5 is 20. So you'd increase that top margin to 20. So you control that, and your factor in that is your aspect of your photo. There's no one rule for that. Each one will be slightly different, but it's not rocket science. So that's Faststone, relatively simple. If you are using Q, not many of you will be, but Q Image lets you do similar things.
Is Q Image free program, free software?
No.
So you pay for that. Is it expensive?
Oh, it's about $100
Oh.
US a year.
You buy it, you got it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. It's a very good. If you're serious about your printing, folks, you need this program, Mr. Hodge. You notice that?
Yeah, you keep telling me I need
That's
it.
right.
So maybe if I buy a bigger printer, I might get it.
So in here, I'm just going to grab any image. So what we've done there is we got 3 at the bottom. So if I increase that to 15, for example, I'd have to change the size of my photo a little bit, and you can move it around in there. On one will be the same, that'll have the same adjustments in there as to how you position the photo on your page. You can also, if you want to, print it as you've always printed it, and then trim and use a slightly different mounting method. That we'll go and have a look at now. So I'll pause this part of the video here, and we'll reconvene shortly. Hi folks, we're back again. Now, I'm just bastardising one of my old photos here. I've just drawn this up on the back. Don't measure this exact because it's only done by eye. But there is 15 mil, which is going to disappear up into the rail. Okay, so if that was a 3 mil border all the way around, you want an extra 3 mil on top of that 15 mil to give you an even border. And I'll give you an example. We'll use this one here. So there's your photo printed with and this border could even be a tad wider, goes up. We'll use a clean bit into there. So that one needs more because you see we're cutting off the border. Okay, so print a bit more on top and you'll get that. You get the border on the top.
Looks good.
Okay, so now if you're printing a photo where the top of the photo is not critical to the story of your photo for judging purposes, and this is a classic example where that's the case, and this is printed borderless, you don't need to do anything. You simply bring it like that and go bang. Because that doesn't make any difference to your shot. So just think about when you're mounting, when you're printing, if you've got anything that's critical to the story of your photo at the top 15 mil of your photo, then you'll need to think about how you manage that. But if it's not critical, as in this case, there you go. Magic Dot by Nashin. Google it. A lot of suppliers, Eckersley's, etc., craft shops will have this stuff. If you can see on there, how close can you get in, Brad?
Pretty close.
Can you see the little dots on that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I would recommend starting with about that much. Let's say about a 20 mil strip. Put it on. Probably don't even need 20 mil. bit on this side, and we'll do a bit of a test here, folks, to see. Okay. Right, just rub that with your fingernail. It wants a bit of pressure to activate it.
So it's little dots of glue, is that what it is?
Little dots of adhesive on the back of it.
Yep.
So I then remove the covering. And you'll see on the back of that, if you get the light shining across it, you'll see the shiny adhesive dot bits on there. Okay. So now you've pre-cut your board, you've done your measurements to know your top overlap. I'm doing this purely by eye. You might, if you're concerned about it, if you don't press it down, it won't stick. It's not a fast grab thing. You got to give it a little bit of pressure to make it stick. So I line up where I want my border to be, which is roughly that, and that. So I've applied pressure. I should be using gloves to do that.
Yep.
Or a piece of paper or anything. Okay, so that is now attached to there. Let's see if we can make it. We can't make it move. So you've noticed what I've done here. I've left the white border on, and I've used my black card, so I'm in effect getting a double border presentation. I now insert it into the rail. Now I could have left a little bit more at the top. So, and you could, if you wanted to do that, then you just go back and trim that black bit.
Just use a ruler and make sure you've got enough on top, that's all.
Exactly. So there you go.
Yep.
And that's
now taking it off, Grant.
taking it off. The next morning, you simply peel it off like that. Go to the back of the photo, rub your finger over it.
So it just rubs off.
Just rubs off with your finger. Don't do it over another photo, because if you got this onto the face of the photo, it wouldn't
be stuck on your photo.
It'll stick then, of course. So that's what you do. So it's off. Nothing there. And there you go. Put your photo away for future use. Pick that up. It'll roll into a little ball for you. And it's the same stuff you see like on the back of a credit card or anything new that comes in. You would check this if you wanted to be absolutely sure that it was completely clean. Go over that again. Reuse the sheet.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think you've covered most things, Grant. You've shown software, and if you don't want to do it in software, you can just do it with a bit of card.
Yep.
Or a piece of paper or anything.
So there you go again. There's another way of that's again. Like if you wanted to use, for example, what we used here before, this one. I haven't pre-cut this, so this is a bit of guesswork here. You'd have to pre-cut that. Go to this one. So, you line it up, you get your borders right, and just leave that, and cut that to your desired size to give you that overlap in the top.
Yep.
Okay. So, cost of that, your print cost doesn't change. If Brad and I are doing it for you, we'll run through that in a minute for you on the computer. But a piece of this card from a newsagent, so
Well, you can reuse it anyway.
$1.99, and you're going to reuse that and cut it to whatever size you want. You're not having to cut out a mat. So folks, it's all about making entry cheaper for you. This is what this is all about. It's not about change for the sake of change. It's because we want to keep our print competitions alive. People enjoy prints. They like looking at prints because they can walk around and talk about a print. A print is a conversation maker. A digital image, and I totally get why we have digital images. I understand that. But when we have an exhibition or an exhibition night, the conversation comes from people going up and looking at prints and talking about prints versus a digital show that flashes over the screen for 5 seconds and then it's gone. So my feeling is, and I think the committee agrees with me, that if we lose prints, we will struggle going forward as a club. So this is what this is all about, to protect the print.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi folks, back again. A very quick word. After you have logged in, you won't see this unless you're logged in because members get the benefits.
And log in is at top right.
Log in is over here, top right.
Yeah, it should say your name.
Yep, and look, I'm just going to log out for a second. If you go to log in and you have forgotten or your password, you can reset your password down here. If you want someone, a family member or someone to be able to see something, see if they can create a guest account. We have to approve those. If there's a specific reason for it for a limited time, we would consider doing that. Okay? So we log in. Now you get the expanded menu bar, a lot of different things going in here. Very quickly in here, there is under competition information, there's your competition specifications for 2025, and there's a lot of examples in here, etc., etc. So there's a lot of information in this website that I don't think people are quite using yet, but I'm hoping you'll get there. The latest edition is this one, printing. So if you want Brad and I to do your printing for you, knowing that we understand the margins, etc., and we understand aspect, and you'll get a very good job on a 3880 Epson printer. We use a heavyweight satin paper in either Ilford Gallery or Moab Exhibition Luster. Both of these are world-class papers. And this is all we're going to charge you, folks. $5 up to an A4 or an 8x12. Larger than that is $8. Matting no longer required. So all you've got to do is, after you have gone to competitions and submitted your images to a competition as per normal, remembering that when you do that now, and it is open at the moment, so I'm just going to go to open colour print, your maximum competition size is now set to 406 by 2160. So you can enter up to that size. Don't worry about the pixels per inch. If you're doing this in Lightroom or whatever, and it talks about limit the file size to, leave it blank or don't use it. It doesn't matter. Now, we don't care what size you upload, basically. So once you've completed this process, doing the normal process at these sizes here, then you come back to the printing page and you hit here and go, okay, well, I want Brad and Grant to print the A4 or the larger ones. When you click on that and go to the Buy Now button, it will then allow you to enter the quantity. So you might want 2 of these, for example. So you'd enter 2 in there, complete that purchase, and then you would go back to printing once that's PayPal's completed its thing. Okay, don't log out like I just did. Go back to your printing. Remember me. So you've done your 2 A4s, and let's say you had 2 panos as well. Now you'd go back and do that. And enter in your 2 there and continue. That'll take your money off you gladly. We cross-check that and the only thing we're going to ask is that when you upload your image, that if you're not using a mat, as it says in the instructions, to put NM and the letter P after that for printing. So we know when we're looking at the images that we need to print those images. So we need a little bit of help from you to know which ones we have to print, because we will not automatically print. We'll then cross-check with PayPal, and if your payment is not there, we ain't going to print you, because printers chew ink, paper has to be paid for, and all you're paying for is the use of the ink and the paper. Brad and I get nothing out of this. We're doing this on a Sunday morning to try and help the club keep the print competitions at a very healthy level, and to keep us exposed to a higher level of competition going forward, such as national print salons, etc. There we go. Thank you. See ya.